Hey, what is going on, guys? I am Master RKO, and today I'm bringing you another patch notes. Most recently, a new god came out, some new stuff, as well as voice packs, emotes, item balancing, skins, and a bunch of other stuff come out. So I figured we'd go ahead and get you guys up to date. Now, there are some stuff that came out skin-wise, but I'm going to show you those in-game instead of on this. This is the patch notes site. You can see them anywhere whenever you log into Smite, but I figured for those of you who maybe at work, at school, or just can't see them right now, I figured I'd make you guys videos so you guys can get caught up, or anyone who's maybe far behind and don't know what's going on. So first off, that came up, new voice packs came up. Of course, the new skins came out for Awilix, Khepri, and Freya. There are also some new ones for other people, but we'll get into those later. So new voice packs for Awilix, Khepri, and Freya for their skins, as well as the new god Khepri came out. He gets some emotes. Player card comes out, we'll show you that. That's for Lil Mana Vamana. It's a little bit more hype related. Into the arena, they added some grass that deteriorates over time, which is really cool, something that I really like. Which brings up one announcement. They are going to be making a new Joust map. It's going to be Chinese themed, which is going to be really cool. And one thing that I wish that they would do is they would add more of a daytime nighttime switch in between, like conquest maps. Start off conquest and it's bright like afternoon, and by the time late game comes around it'd be nighttime. That's something that I'd really like to see as a dynamic change in like the conquest maps and maybe some other maps as well. If you would like that, go ahead and spam that to high res if you want that to happen. Also, give this video a like if you'd like to see that, and comment some other ideas that you might have, and maybe we can start tweeting some stuff at high res. Moving on to some of the more miscellaneous stuff, they added some match of the day or mode of the day games. Some of them grant some skins, which would be nice. The Mesmerize Announcer Pack, which is the Jamaican somewhat sounding guy for the Summer of Smite. They added some lines to him, which, I mean, I feel like they could have done some more stuff to him. There were some crashes that happened. They changed the name of player icons in game, so like mine is like the Thunderbolt and Rain. Other people's, some people unlocked the pirate flag for having all the pirate skins from the chest. Those are now known as avatars. From the god selection screen, if you're playing a game mode where there's going to be random gods selected, instead of having everything pop up, they're going to have just it minimized so it's not in your face all the time. Some things that were fixed, patch-wise, the league qualifying bar showing dodge games instead of the total qualifying, some god pages not showing the right attack speed for some gods, as well as some emotes not showing up, and the scroll wheel not working in the god skins page. Some item balances that came out. Breastplate of Valor reduced mana from 550 to 300, and the reduced cost for 2300 to 1950. So even though it's going to cost less, you're also going to get some less mana out of it. I know it used to be a really good item for me. I always used Transcendence on a lot of my builds nowadays, so having that little bit of extra mana gave that much more power. And with that being dropped, this is no longer it's still a pretty good defensive item, but you can't really use it for that extra mana cost anymore. But for the price, it's not too bad. And the tier 2 of it, before you get into Breastplate of Valor, has also been dropped from 300 mana to 200 mana, and instead of costing 1100, it now costs 950. So tier 2 and Breastplate of Valor getting drops in not only mana but cost. Shield of Regrowth is getting a buff. The speed bonus from the passive is going to be 35% instead of 25%, as well as it's going to last longer, so you're going to have 4 seconds of it instead of 2 seconds. So for those people who really use that as an item, you're going to be getting a little bit extra out of it. Soul Eater, an item that if you use it, you'll like it. If you never really use it, you're kind of not getting into it, but it looks like they're trying to get people to use it more often. And I can see why. They moved the attack speed, they bumped it up from 10 to 15%. They also increased the base lifesteal from 15 to 20%, as well as the passive aura is now plus 15 physical power and 10 protection for allies. But they did remove the physical lifesteal for your allies, which I'm perfectly fine with that, with what they've been doing. Celestial Legion Helm gets a magical power buff from 40 to 60, so Sylvanas, have fun with that. As well as a Runic Shield, that passive, the magical power range from 55 gets reduced to 50, and the attack speed gets reduced to 20%. Onsol probably gets one of the largest changes, which Onsol was an item that I really liked using on some of my warriors. The physical power is now at 25, magical protection is now at 40, and the cooldown reduction is now at 15%, but the passive is what gets the major change. You permanently gain 5 health per stack, as well as you get 5 stacks per god kill, and 1 stack per minion kill up to 50 stacks, so instead of getting that cooldown, you get the health for it. Warded Shield gets a nerf a little bit, the magical protection from 40 to 35, and the cost increased by 70 gold, and these are just some of the smaller items, mostly tier 2 and tier 1s. Enchanted Buckler gets dropped by 70 gold. Silver Talisman, a magical defense item, mostly like a beginner defensive item. The health from it gets reduced from 200 to 125, so maybe people are going to start looking for different defensive items for some of the Guardians. Maybe a few, mostly supports, are going to be looking at that. And something that I never thought was going to happen, but I guess because of the new way that these two items work, Heartseeker and Doomorb are now going to be put in Assault. I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, they can be used pretty well since you don't really get that many stacks for minions anymore in Assault, and the fact that people who use them are going to be getting more use out of them there anyway, since no one really uses it in Conquest or anywhere else anymore. So Heartseeker and Doomorb are getting put into Assault. If you don't know what those do, what they used to do is you used to be able to get stacks per minions, as well as god kills and stuff. Now it's only god kills and assists, so it's really one of those items that you only want to get when you're really far ahead, and even then the risk reward isn't really that great. So Heartseeker and Doomorb have really fallen off when it comes to being picked anywhere else, so being put into Assault, they might have some better usage. And then finally, the Telkin's Ring no longer provides magical protection, and it only provides 100 health. So gods like Freya, Kronos, some of those that build Telkin's Ring, getting pushed back a little bit without that, but Freya automatically gets that magical protection from her passive now, so I mean, she's not going to be affected too much. Moving on to some of the god changes, Ao Kuang, Polynomicon passive, it's going to be target when cast at max range. At first the passive wasn't really activating when Wildstorm was cast at max range, so I'm glad that they kind of fixed that on him. I'm not really a major Ao Kuang player, but I did notice a couple times that it happened. Outwash getting some stuff that a lot of people don't agree on. They think that there's some stuff that needs to be changed on him otherwise. So this one's kind of getting a mixed reaction. Most of the time you usually get some, you normally, like when there's a balance or something, everyone's like, yeah, or oh, this is a little, like for me, I don't mind it, but for other people, they really think that Outwash needs some other things changed, which I do agree with. So as you can see, they removed the slow from his ultimate entirely. So Empty the Crypts no longer slows at all. You can get out of it quicker, which I am perfectly fine with. I despise getting slowed by that, especially in like a team fight, so I'm perfectly fine with that. They also fixed where Fleeting Breath was dealing unintended damage, and the bonus damage was counting as an extra heal stack. I'm actually glad that they changed that a little bit. Athena's Preemptive Strike, there was a huge problem with that, where people weren't able to reset her ranged basic attack when they were using abilities, so they fixed that, as well as Defender of Olympus. They fixed where her sound effects kept going even after the ally died that she was on, as well as the fact that when she died, it was also playing, even if she died while she was doing it. So they fixed that. Owelix, the Moonlight Charge knockup. Uh, if someone was jumping, the knockup was lowered. So you could literally hit spacebar, jump up in the air, and lower the knockup from Moonlight Charge. They fixed that, as well as they fixed where Gravity Surge, which is their ultimate. Some people that were getting knocked up by Hui's Dive Bomb, that wasn't counting as a knockup, so they fixed that. On Bacchus, they fixed some voiceover lines, nothing too big there. Bologna now is getting some stuff, mostly to where it's no longer like a base cooldown for stuff. They made it to where some of the stuff was ranged. The shield bash, the slow, is now granted up. It's not an immediate 30%. At level 1 it's 15, level 2 20, 3 25, 4 30, but now it actually, when it hits level 5, there's actually a higher slow on it, so I would kind of consider that a buff. I wouldn't really consider that much of a nerf. As well as Eagle's Rally now has a smaller cooldown, whereas it was 75 seconds at all ranks. That's also technically getting a buff because now that's dropping all the way to 55 seconds at full level. So that's pretty good for Bologna, so that's going to bring Bologna a little bit back into the fight a little bit. Chalk had a problem where a mana issue, and the Rain Dance, the mana wasn't displaying, nothing too much there. Crescent Moon for Chang'e, they fixed the accuracy, which wasn't too much of a problem. Freya had a problem with weapon trails for some of her stuff, that's not too bad. Kumba got fixed where people were getting stuck on the wall in Arena during his... Oh, wait a second, what? I didn't actually read that. I guess if he was dying, there were times where he was getting stuck in walls, if he was getting executed. Wait, what? Getting stuck? Oh, so if he was executed by Ao Kuang, but his passive was up, he was getting stuck on walls. That's insane. That's probably a good thing that they fixed. Loki got one thing from skins, as well as his hands clipping through his face on the Infiltrator victory screen. That's nothing too much. Updated the art for buff icon, for vanish, that's fine. And his animation, which, nothing there. Nothing too much there. I mean, you guys are probably watching this, so you can kind of read what's going on as well. Yeah, there's nothing too much now. We're getting back to the final stuff, and these are going to be the final god touches, which these are actually going to be pretty interesting. So Ravana gets a cooldown reduction on his overhead kick, as well as increased damage. His Tin Hand gets increased health return, as well as increased damage. And his Mystic Rush fixed a wall problem and a buff timer. So he's getting more of a buff. They're really trying to make him more relevant. I think he didn't really have as good of a release as they thought he was going to be, seeing how much time they release gods, they're buffed up, they're incredibly overpowered, and then they have to nerf them. Instead, he came out not strong enough, so he seems like he's getting buffed even more, and I think they'll probably give him more buffs as these go on. Ratatoskr getting nerfed more, his dart getting dropped from 40 to 35 distance, that's units in-game, and also his dart can only reset twice, which means that he can't dash everywhere now. And through the Cosmos, they actually upped his time back from 1 second to 1.5 seconds, so he has a little bit longer from that. And that's pretty much it for the main god balances and stuff. So now we can finally look in-game at some of the skins, as well as we'll go ahead and look at the arena and the new god. So we're going to go ahead and click over to there. So now we're finally in the game. We're going to look at some of these new skins real quick. We're going to just fly right through them before we can get into a game. The first one's going to be the new Medusa skin. She got her gold, diamond, and legendaries, which I personally like her diamond the most, so I'm going to show it, but you can kind of get a feel for either one of them. That's her normal skin. The diamond one's going to come up. They kind of went away from the old, from what they've been doing. They've been kind of like reworking gold, diamond, and legendaries to the point where the skin and everything's the same, and it's just the armor. But with Medusa, they kind of blended it in. I really like the diamond version of this. So this is definitely one god that if I was going to go for Mastery 10 to get the diamond skin, I would definitely choose Medusa. Going across the board, there is Anubis. He gets a tier 2 skin this time. Not much changes out of it. We all know the normal Anubis. There he is. And then he pretty much gets some purple. He gets purple everywhere. That's going to be his tier 2. It's kind of like a fancier recolor. Nothing too flashy there. Probably the best one, Renegade Awilix. I feel like she really needed a special skin. She doesn't really need a limited skin yet, but the fact that she got, I would call this like a tier 3 or tier 4 skin, is really, really cool. The new Renegade skin, staff changes, and then of course Suku is a robotic whatever leopard, I guess, panther. So I really think she needed the skin. This is something that I really believe that is going to help even more people play her, as if she didn't have enough already. We have the new Freya skin. Out of all the people who needed skins, I don't think Freya was one of them. There was a few people that needed more skins. So the fact that they chose to put another skin on Freya, which is another exclusive skin for Freya. She already had one. I don't think she needs another one. But the All for One skin, it's the one skin that isn't futuristic or like a god skin. It's a musketeer skin. I don't know, it looks pretty good, so I'm not too mad about it. And then finally, ending off the skins, it's Khepri skin, which, I mean, you can't really do much to Khepri as is. So what they did do to Khepri, it's all right. They gave him the Gamma Slam skin. He turns blue. He looks like Blue Hulk. And his shields are now cars, and you'll see some tires bounce around on his animation. There you go. That's Gamma Slam Khepri. And now, I'm sure this is the point that you guys wanted. And that is the new god, Khepri, or Khepri, however you want to pronounce him. As you can see, Smite 2015 hit over 1 million, which is nice. So we are actually going to go... We'll let you guys view him first and go from there. He is a scarab. He's big. He's bulky. Here's his recolor. I like him regular like this. Some of his emotes, okay, we'll show the wave first because the wave's alright, but here's the better emote. The better emote is his clap. Turns around and it's fantastic. I don't know if you guys heard the click or not, but it happened. Here's what he sounds like real quick.
Defend the Gold Fury.
That's what he sounds like. He sounds all big and beefy and lordly. So he looks amazing. Let's be honest. So we're going to go ahead and set up a custom game real quick, just to kind of show you guys what he is all about. We'll go ahead and just put in a password. Same thing for the spectator password, which I don't care about. 1v1, we'll start at level like 6. And since the arena got there a little bit of an update, we'll go ahead and look at that as well. We'll go ahead and create. We'll add a bot. We'll do Ymir since he's a guardian. And it's time to show you guys Khepri. I like him. His kit's really useful. And I'll show you guys what his kit is, everything that it does. He's a guardian, of course. He's mainly going to be support. Have seen him solo lane a little bit, so that's definitely something to keep in mind. I don't think he's going to be too good. He does have a pretty decent wave clear. I think that's the only reason why. they kind of see him as a solo lane, like Hades. Hades is good there, but he has good poke. He could be very good in team fights, so it's definitely going to be,
and I will use it to protect the innocent.
yeah. So he's definitely going to be useful. So we're just going to look at some of his abilities. And go from there. So his first ability is going to be Abduct. Basically, it's a dash. He lunges forward, doing damage, of course. And then when he grabs someone, he pulls them backwards for a certain amount of seconds. Level 1, it's 1.5 all the way up to 2.3 seconds, so he can grab someone out of a team fight, drag them across, and give them a better chance to kill someone. It's a very good early game if you can get someone's Hunter and duo lane. Moving forward, we have Rising Dawn, which Rising Dawn is a ball. The ball is going to rule over anyone. It's quote-unquote the sun. It does damage over time, every 0.3 seconds. It also has a protection debuff as well as damage reduction for any allies and enemies that it hits. And there's no... The only thing that scales on that is damage, which is pretty nice. His 3 is Solar Flare. I kind of describe it as a Uller arrow. It just drops right there. That stuns people, or it roots them, sorry. The root lasts longer as it scales. I like it. You can use the 3 with either the 1 or the 2, and they can do very well. And then finally, the ult does a couple different things. You get extra power, a percentage of extra power. Whoever he throws it on, he can throw it on one person, including himself, which is a good thing to note. He gives people a buff of movement speed and also a little bit of extra protections. If whoever is marked dies, they get revived on top of him, including himself, so he can ult himself. If he dies, he can then come back immediately. If, let's say, you're in a team fight, you can ult your Hunter, and if they die, he comes back on you. So you want to make sure you're in a good position if you're going to use it, because you don't want to ult someone and have them immediately die. Now the biggest thing is his passive. His passive, every 5 seconds a shield gets applied to himself and nearby allied gods, having 3% of their maximum health as the shield, up to 15%, while it's up to 15% because it stacks, and it's 10 seconds while you're in combat, so it's actually slower, but it's not too bad. So we're going to go ahead and play a little bit, show you guys what he's like. Didn't buy any items, so that's always nice. I'm just going to buy that, and not that. We'll go and buy that.
Minions have reached your portal.
We'll buy an active. Blink is really good to get on him because of his abilities. So as you can see, the grass, I have the everything on lower, just so that way it's not too bad. But there's a ball, there's a stun. As you can see, it's tick tick ticking. There's the grab, so you can grab him back here.
Minions have reached your portal.
And I doubt I'm going to be able to kill him, but this will be a good chance to use my ult. Wait for it. Okay, so I'm going to ult myself. It's going to give me extra power, and he didn't kill me, so I don't get to show you guys that. He's going to try to run away. I'm going to lead that. That's going to stun him. I'm going to grab him, bring him back. And we're going to blink, ball, and that should kill him. That's first blood. And the grass looks fantastic. I like the grass. It gives it a good touch. The middle looks clean too. So it kind of gives it a new battlefield. And as you can see, that's his wave clear. His wave clear is really, really good. Especially in the early stages. if your hunter's falling behind, you're having problems wave clearing, and you end up having to be one of those roles that's like, you know, we really need to balance out this lane. My hunter's not doing so well. Khepri is a really good god at that. He can set up his own things. He can wave clear properly. He can stun people. Go ahead and grab them. You can bring people back into minions, which is another good thing too. Ball, and that's going to be a dead Ymir. So as you guys can see, he is really good. We're going to just go ahead and show you guys what the wave clear can be like. It really is too strong. We're going to let my abilities come back up. I'm going to show you a full wave. Still dropping. And see, the whole entire wave is low. And now the wave is gone. That's all it took. We'll grab them back into minions. So you can just isolate someone completely. And I want him to try to kill me because I want to show you guys the ultimate. I don't know if he's going to be able to or not. Come on. I know you want to. Come on. Okay. Come on. Nice. Oh. And there it is. See? You come back with a percentage of health. I come back with half health. So you can do that on anybody you want. And just go to town. So that is Khepri, everybody. This is the new map. I'm playing on a smaller range of settings, so let me... I usually play on medium, but I want to see if it'll work. Medium. Let's go ahead and apply that and see what everything looks like on medium with better. The grass doesn't really change. Wait, I think I need to set up the textures actually. Medium, medium, medium. Particles fine. So I guess that's just what the grass looks like. It's smaller. So the grass doesn't really have much, but I'm probably about to start lagging now. Yeah, I'm going to start lagging. So before this video starts looking very laggy, I'm going to set everything back down. And there we go. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this video. As always, if you like this video, leave that like. Leave a comment on anything else you want to see, if there's any tips or tricks that you guys want to know, any specific gods you want to see. And any other notes that you would like to know or strategies, as well as if there's any other videos you want to see in CSGO, as well as I've been playing that. I've been playing some Minecraft with some people, so we might get into that soon. And we're just having a good old time over here, so as always, if you want to leave a comment on what you want to see, that is perfectly fine. If you want to like the video, please do, and if you want to see more content from me, click that subscribe button. Every little bit helps. As always, I'm Master RKO, and I will see you guys next time. Adios.